Yeah,
So I'm gonna grab the other computer.
yeah.
Second.
This is, and we're live, Jeffrey. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Be right back.
Yeah, no sweat, kid. Oh, I like how this. Johnny, can you tell me what's
Hey,
going on, my man?
what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
I'm
good.
good too.
I'm glad to hear about your trip.
Yeah, it was definitely an action-packed one. Definitely did a lot more than what we usually do on trips. It was kind of like we took advantage of all the days for sure, sightseeing wise and all that. So I got to show Peter like a good amount of New York City and some of the highlights of New York City. So it was definitely really, really cool to take him on his first trip there. Last year we were supposed to go on this trip, but last year during this time, all the smoke from Canada came down and it was horrible there. So we had to cancel the whole trip.
I remember.
So this year just worked out a lot better, and we got to do a lot of cool things. From one taking the Times Square for the first time, showing them that, because that's iconic. We got to see the Statue of Liberty. We didn't go to the Statue of Liberty, but we
Wait a
got to
minute.
see.
You skipped over that there was a photo of you guys in Times Square.
Oh so basically what I did was yesterday or Tuesday, I guess. I found out that I could get a billboard down in Times Square and I could put our family photo up on it. So I'm thinking, what a cool surprise to go down to Times Square and not only be down there in Times Square and taking in all that great stuff that's going around, but being able to put our family picture up there and then take a photo and take a video of it. So, I've actually got a hold of two different services that now when I go out there, this was a pretty good billboard, but it was, kind of the smaller ones. But now I got the connection to one of the huge billboards and I can pick the time and everything. So I'm going to start running Titan ads down there, put our picture up there, just get that visibility out there because there's so many impressions out there on the street where people are looking up at these different billboards. It's just a really, really cool thing. And then when we went down there, we got a photographer and we did like a little mini photo shoot, in Times Square of the family, us walking, talking, pictures and stuff like that. So really, really cool stuff all the way around. I mean, we went to One Vanderbilt, which is like the tallest building, I guess, in New York City now. So at that point, like you get to go all the way up to the 93rd floor and hang out up there. And they have like this balloon experience. They have these different rooms, immersion rooms, but just looking at the city from up there and just going miles and miles of lights at night. Like it's just, that's all you see. There's no end to it. So, I mean, it was just, like I said, really, really cool. Got to go see the Mets versus Yankees Subway Series, first game of it, down to Mets Stadium. So my son's a Mets fan. I'm not. So, of course, he's wearing a Mets jersey. Sharice is wearing a Mets jersey, and I'm wearing a Yankees jersey. One cool thing that did happen out of that, though, he's wearing a Piazza World Series jersey. He likes Mike Piazza, and we've got these great seats behind home plate. So we got there before the game, like an hour before the game, because we want to see, if anybody was going to sign anything, whatever it was. And actually, Mike Piazza was there. And Mike Piazza actually came and took a selfie with Peter.
Oh, that's
super cool. Super cool. So that's definitely cool. It was definitely a big one for him. He was starstruck at that point, which was really awesome. Watched the whole game. Mets hit 4 home runs. I couldn't believe it. And then Judge hits a grand slam. I mean, it was just awesome all the way around for baseball and to share the experience with him. And that was one of the main reasons I went down there. But it was cool all the way around. Got to eat good New York food. His first New York slice of pizza. Went to all the good pizza spots. Went over the Brooklyn Bridge. Played like this beat the bomb game, which is like this escape game, which you see in the paint at the end. Like we got blasted with this stuff like that. It's just cool, man. It was cool. There's a lot of different things, it's just super cool. We had a great time, family bonding at its best, making those everlasting, priceless memories that I always talk about with you. And it was good, man. It was definitely good. He had a blast, so I'm happy. That was the main thing. I wanted him to be happy, enjoy it, get to go see New York, get to go see his team, and have a good time.
It was good. It was good to see you. I know you guys took off Friday, but I was glad to see that you stayed not just Saturday, Sunday, but like Monday and got some playtime on Tuesday and then came out. I'm glad you enjoyed that trip.
Yeah,
it's
man,
always fun to see somebody like you that works so hard. Shut it moderately down.
Yeah.
Get out of town because I know you still do work even when you travel on vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I was just doing my work in the morning, so I was getting up super early where they were kind of sleeping in a little bit, and And I just naturally wake up early. It just is what it is. I don't care if I want to sleep in or not. So I just did my work in the morning, got the story up, all the marketing done for Facebook and Instagram and all that, answered the DMs. And then they were waking up. I got my training in the afternoon, so that was good most days. So yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. It was good to shut down a little bit. And like I said, just spend time with him.
I love that. I love that. I know that, I don't know if you want to talk about it. You did some preventative health before you left town.
Sure.
Yeah. So you want to wait till another time?
No. We can get it in. I'm open book. So basically before I left on Friday, if anybody's know out there, I need a total shoulder replacement on my right shoulder. So I'm bone on bone. I have no cartilage. I have arthritis all throughout my arm. And so, I go see one of the top orthopedic specialists here in Tampa. He's an orthopedic specialist for the Tampa Bay Rays. He does all the shoulders and all that. And, he's been helping me out. He's a great doctor, Dr. Gasser, 30 years in practice, just knows everything. So, I was talking, I'm like, listen, what else can I do? Obviously he's like, you can shoot cortisone. I'm like, yeah, I can shoot cortisone. I was like, is there anything else that I can do out there that's possibly going to help? And, he was like, listen, PRP will help a little bit, but there's nothing that's going to regenerate that cartilage like that. So he did say that there was a gel, and basically it adheres to where the cartilage would go. That would possibly help soften the area so you wouldn't be in as much pain. And it takes like up to 6 weeks for this to bond to the material inside your shoulder. So I was like, hey, listen, I'm willing to give it a try for sure. So I went in Friday, right before I was going to fly out to New York. And I got the PRP done because he was going to do the gel anyway. He's like, oh, we'll just shoot PRP in there. Just if it helps, great. So we shot that in there. We shot the gel in there. And I'm just waiting for it right now, I guess, to adhere. But it was something new that I'd never seen before. I've never seen gel put in somebody's shoulder. And listen, I'm not the top orthopedic specialist out there, so I don't know everything. But it was really cool to be able to learn that maybe there's a couple other things. And he says this is going to work for up to 6 months. So I'm going to give you guys a play-by-play over the next. I'm going to give it at least the 6 weeks to kick in. So let's say 2 months. And then at that point, listen, if I'm getting any relief or not, I'll tell you guys, because they do it on the knees, any joint area you can possibly use it on.
Is this new?
It's somewhat approved for the knees. They used it off-label for my shoulder. But they're like, it's a joint, same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do it for in here. It's just we didn't do the studies on this. So, yeah, so I didn't know about this. And honestly, I don't know when it got approved, but the doctor told me it had been approved for a while. So, like I said, that's something like that just over my head. And anybody I've ever talked to never brought this up to me, like as a form of an option. And obviously I want to know all the options out there, and I asked him the straight questions. If I go out of the country to one of these stem cell places, will it help my shoulder? And he's like, listen, nothing's going to grow back a cartilage. I don't care what stem cells are using. And I like the honesty and transparency because, some people have told me, hey, yeah, stem cells are going to do the trick. But I talked to a lot of people that get stem cell treatments out of the country, and some it works great for, and some it works for a limited time, and that's it. So it's just crazy. But technology
that's one of those things, and you and I have talked about this so much. So, but anybody out there, me and Johnny have talked about this, but it's the PRP or the stem cell. Again, it works for some people incredibly well, and I've liked it. I did stem cell once. I did PRP a few times and stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree with Johnny. There's a portion of time I think it really does. It helped me.
Yeah.
It helped me. But I think that again, I'm at that age where I'm cool with the grind. I'm an old car that's still moving, and I'm okay pushing it. And so maybe it's me, but I like to believe that there's some way that it can help. And so this gel, when you showed me, I wanted to just jump in depth on it. I'm going to wait, be patient, and hear from you over this next couple months on how it works.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely going to tell you guys because at that point you can utilize it. If it does help, that'll be a world of relief. Because the problem is like, listen, I can keep doing cortisone, not an issue, and I can mask the pain somehow.
Twice a year, though?
Huh?
Cortisone is a couple times a year.
3 times, usually 4 times max every 3 months. You could do it. And like right now, I'm like on 4 months going on, so I can do my next shot if I really want to. They said after this gel, though, you're not supposed to do any NSAIDs or any corticosteroids for 6 weeks afterwards. So obviously, I'm not going to do it for 6 weeks. But if I want to do cortisone in the future, I can do that. And massive pain. The problem is, yeah, I won't feel any pain. The issue is mobility, and that's my big problem. And that's the big issue that I have a problem with right here is because I can't lift my hand up or back any further. So, and even raising it, like even to put on deodorant, that's as high as I can go. I can't go any higher. So, for me, I'm like, it's quality of life. So I'm talking like, I'm like, should I get the shoulder replacement? Should I not get the shoulder replacement? And they're like, don't do it because you got to get another one 20 years. And you got to get another one 20 years. So if you live to, let's say you be 80, you'd have to have 3 shoulder replacements in that time. And I told him, I'm like, but is the quality of life between 40 and 60 important? Because I can't throw a baseball straight, right? I physically, my brain is telling me, I know I'm a baseball player. I know what to do. The mobility of my arm, I just restricted. So, I'm contemplating it, man, because I want mobility. And I've talked to people that have shoulder replacements, and I'm kind of scared with that because it's either good or bad. So I've never seen anybody where it's all good. I've seen some people say, I've got more problems than I had before. Right? I see somebody like,
right?
Huh?
From the surgery?
From the surgery, I guess.
More problems. Yes, that's, man, they're both such a give and take. Stem cells works for some, moderately for others. PRP works for some. Surgeries, some people have met incredible, and then others absolutely destroyed. It's like,
I've talked to some MLB players that have had the shoulder replacement, like Peter's coach. He was a pitching guy, and he's like, man, I feel like I'm bionic arm, man. I feel like $1 million. Like I'm like 20s again. So I'm like, damn, do I want to have that? Especially if we're gonna have this kid. If I do have this kid in the future, I'm gonna definitely want to play baseball with him, and I definitely want to throw. Now I've been throwing on this shoulder with Peter batting practice for the last 3 years. So I mean, it is what it is. I guess if I have to do it like that, but I'm contemplating maybe the shoulder replacement. I don't know. I don't really want to be down either, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Again, guys, we're just talking about like John Shoulders and doing PRP and stem cell, and he did a new gel last Friday. And so be sure to follow, just kind of keep an update and bug him and ask him over the next couple of weeks on how it's worked. Cause I'm going to bug him on that stuff as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I listen, I like the new technology. I like the new cutting edge, like medications or things that are going to help us improve, especially if we have something that's wrong with us and we can help in a big way. Like we don't know these options out there. I mean, man, definitely 110%. I'm always looking for the newest, greatest, best thing, especially for regenerative medicine, because that's the key. I mean, if we can stay younger, we can stay healthier and prevent, then at that point we won't break down as much, or we can at least stay where we're at and not break down anymore.
I see some of the questions people are talking about, like my friend Ed Cohen did some stem cell. He liked it. And I also know that he got some a hip, new hip and stuff. And so that was years back, but he's loving that. And he and I are close to the same age.
Yeah.
And that he, again, that's the greatest power lifter of all time.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that he torqued his body pretty well, and he's still moving and grooving. So that's a good sign that that's something to do. Pricing wise, I don't know pricing. Somebody asked about pricing. Again, I don't think PRP is expensive. I think stem cells somewhat expensive, but again, somebody said something the other day that made me laugh. And it's you'll get this, Johnny. Somebody said I was getting somebody ready for a contest. And somebody said, yeah, but the price is too much. And I said, no sweat, man. That's your opinion of what you're worth. That has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Go down to 24-hour fitness and get a trainer if that's what you want. If that's what you want. And so when you guys say is it pricey, I think regardless of the price, I would rather pay for me stem cell, not knowing 100% that it will work relative to buying a new fancy car for me.
Yeah.
I do the stem cell just because this car here needs to ride as best as possibly can. And if it gets me 1% better, I don't care what the price is. I'll make sure I'll take care of that. And that's,
I agree.
Go. Go.
I mean, for sure, 100%. Listen, you have one body, you better take care of it. And you better maintenance it as best possible. And if you have any opportunity to keep it up or make it any better, you definitely gonna want to make that opportunity. You know, people talk a lot about price, whether it's with me or with you or stem cells or whatever it is. But you know, is it going to provide value for you in a way that you probably can't get on your own? Absolutely, 100%. I mean, and what do you put a price on your health and the way that you can move? I mean, that's priceless to me. That's the number one investment I would say across the board, you know, is yourself. Because if your body breaks down, then you really aren't doing anything. So you aren't providing for your family. You're not doing anything you like. You're not going out with that girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. And you just, you know, your quality of life is shot. And then at that point, now you're stuck in a broke down body, like a broke down car. And then you have to repair it anyway. So you have to take it to the shop, which is the hospital. And at that point, get whatever surgery you need or medication, you know, to put into your body to make it better or to even let it run. Think about that. I mean, that sucks just in general, man. If you got to take medications to keep you alive, I mean, that's, you know, that's at the end, but there's people out there like that. Think about it. I mean, even if people have to get, you know, replacement of, let's say, an organ, they have to take anti-rejection medications every single day to make sure that that organ stays intact in their body and is working properly. So, you know, don't cheat yourself on your health and don't cheat yourself on being better. You're making yourself better because ultimately it's going to affect you in the end.
It's interesting. I'm reading some of these comments and stuff, and I fully understand everything costs its price, and I think some of the things that Johnny and me, I think, agree on. You got to change that mindset. It doesn't matter what it costs.
Yep.
That's what you focus on. Just start working to get that relative to the Friday night dinners and parties and shit.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys realize Titan Tuesdays talks and my talks with Johnny, we could do the nutrition and pinpoint that in the training. Ours is about the whole body throughout the ride you guys are going on. And that's what I'd like these conversations to be about. And it's about like Johnny being healthy enough and set himself up in a way to where he's working on having another little bambino, another little beast, another little somebody to his family. Now,
right.
That being said, he's still taking time right now to celebrate and go out with his family and enjoy and go on a freaking crazy fun trip and still run his company. And so the whole concept here is we train and work out to make sure that the physique is what it is. But Johnny's all about the inside engine and making sure we're healthy. So if you guys can't today, take focus on those questions on how to make sure that everything's working right. Your blood work is right. You're healthy. Your body is changing. If you didn't know, if you're on the right diet and on the right training, you will change every couple of weeks. You will visually see a difference. Now, if you've been training for a couple of weeks and you see nothing, no strength change, no body change, no nothing, that means there's something off. And that could start right from the very beginning. Johnny, what could be the problems for somebody that's not changing?
I mean, you could have hormonal deficiencies or problems there, or something's off, imbalances. So, you know, testosterone could be low, estrogen could be high, cortisol could be low, cortisol could be high. There's a number of different things. SHBG is high, low testosterone, or free testosterone is low. I mean, you got a lot of different things that could be happening with you. And as we age, all these hormones are going to be declining and go deficient, and some imbalances could happen too as well. And even in young people, there can be imbalances in hormones. So if you are having problems and you're in the younger ages, in the mid-20s per se, and you're seeing some of these bad problems or negative signs, check your hormones, right? It should be just a check. And if everything's good, awesome. Then we need to work on nutrition. We need to work on training. We need to work on sleep and drinking water and getting that right. And then we can expedite some of these different results by using some of the different therapies, maybe ECA stack if you need more energy, Hercules potion, some of the peptides that are still around. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can utilize to enhance what you're doing or to expedite results. But you need to make sure, one, everything is all good in the body, right? We checked it. We're good. That's all set. Now we have peace of mind. Now we know this is a fact. Everything is good here. Now we're going to look at those other pillars that we were talking about, the activity, the nutrition, the water, the sleeping. All right, cool. These are good. All right, awesome. Now where can we expedite some of these different things? I want to do weight loss. I want to grow lean more muscle mass. I want to think better. I want to sleep better. Some of these different aspects we can start looking at, and then we can start improving these different areas. And like building blocks, once we hit one goal, we can go to the next goal, and to the next goal, and to the next goal. And that way we're not worried about hitting 10 different goals at the exact same time. I like going down a list, and we always talk about writing a list out and hitting it. Boom, boom, boom. Crossing each line out as we go and improving and ultimately being better for it. I mean, that's in anything you do, whether it's your business or your activity, and you're knocking off those goals, you're ultimately going to be improving in whatever you're doing.
Good questions here on the side here. Yes, your thyroid could be off. All those, there could be so many things that are off. But again,
Thyroid, yeah, I didn't even talk about
I can't tell, what's going on unless you do some blood work.
Right.
Unless you let us know how you're eating. And again, living the lifestyle, like Johnny always says, the Titan lifestyle. So you could be training right. You could be eating right. You could be sleeping right. You could do all these things, and you're still hitting your head against the wall because the body's not working with you. And it's interesting. I'm going to jump off subject right now because we just trained with a guy, and this week was his PR week. His PR. Now this is everybody. This is a young kid who also goes to Titan Medical. We have him on some HCG right now, I think it is, and some enclomiphene. He's mid-30s. He had a moderately low T level, but his free testosterone was very low. And within 9 weeks, he put on 85 pounds on his squat.
Wow, that's good.
He just smashed a 530 on a 12-inch box, and his best ever in his life was 455. So it's cool to see when the body works with you, what can happen. And again, it's cool to see somebody in 9 weeks. Again, he's going to put on 100 pounds on his squat. I mean, how many people would like to go, hey, I want to put 100 pounds on my bench and stuff. I'd love it too.
Right.
To be able to do that and see somebody that was hitting himself against the wall because he was training right. He was sleeping right. He's in his 30s, so you think everything is fine. Life is perfect. I'm in my 30s. I got no issues whatsoever.
Yeah. Then
you find out his free test was at 7 or something like that. It was like bottom of the barrel. But the Suns team over this last couple of months have been working with him and got him set up to where his body is now naturally producing healthy free testosterone and being used in that sense. And so it's fun to see him in his 30s living his full life.
Yeah.
That was cool.
How long was that change?
The change was in 9 weeks.
That's huge.
9 weeks. And I know that
9 weeks.
Yeah, it's 9 weeks. It's like you guys.
9 weeks was yesterday.
It really was. 9 weeks was yesterday. It's one of those things you write that down, and it's like that time goes past, and you're 9 weeks now, and he's like this. So it's just cool to see. And he's a father, full job, new girlfriend. I don't know if that was Titan Medical.
She's benefiting from it.
Someone had to share that. So yeah, join Titan Medical. You get more lifts and a new girl. That's a joke, guys. Sarcasm.
That's so
that
cool.
Being said, though, it's cool to see that. Now, I fully understand that a lot of you guys are saying that these things are expensive. Can I get some water? Yeah. And then you take this, Mo. Hey, Titan, you want to come say hi to everybody?
I'd also want to know if the people that are saying it's expensive, have they talked?
Hi, buddy.
Or are they just saying it's expensive because they've already implanted that block in their head? They've already committed to not wanting to change. So they're just saying, oh yeah, it's too expensive.
I think that could be an assumption. I think that I was trying to make that point. Jeff's point was, are they just saying it's too expensive without knowing the aspect? And I guess
I mean, I listen, guys. I know, what we do it for. We've never changed prices since the day we've started Titan Medical Center. So it's been almost 12 years and we haven't changed the price as far as raising prices. Even when prices have been raised on us in every aspect, from shipping to pharmacies, materials. I mean, everything across the board has went up except for us. And at that point, like what you get for it, the bang for the buck. I mean, if let's say you're an out-of-state person and you're a guy, an out-of-state person is going to pay $370 a month for testosterone, their aromatase inhibitors, and clomiphene or HCG, and then their syringes, their needles, their shipping, everything out the door. So it's fully to you and everything you need. But I always like to lay out everything I get because some people are like, I'm getting testosterone for $370. No, that's not what you're getting. You're getting 3 different medications, your syringes, your needles, and everything along with that. And honestly, I don't know too many people across the board out there that do it like that. And even with the people that do $99 a month, you're only getting testosterone, and that's the hook. And at that point, then you're going to get upcharged on some different things that they have. So, are you going to get the support from those people too? Because that's another aspect of this. Who's monitoring you? Who's making sure that you're going to be okay? Who's making sure you're doing it right? Who can you call if you have a problem, an issue, and get a response just like that? There are not companies out there that do that. I'm sorry.
Well, I know companies going under.
Yeah. So, for us, I mean, you get a lot of bang for the buck and there's value there. So, can you do $30 a day or whatever it is, $40 a day, let's say? I think a lot of people could do that. I think a lot of people can take some of the garbage out of what they don't need and apply to what they do need. And this is one thing that I know. I know people that don't make a lot of money, okay, that when they get on a program, they start feeling so good and it improves their quality of life so much that they find a way to pay for their therapies. And then they improve. I know guys that are salesmen that weren't doing that well. They had low energy. They couldn't think. It was just they weren't with it. No motivation. Get on HRT, increase their sales, increase whatever they're doing as far as that goes. So, if you feel better, you're going to perform better, whether it's your job or in the gym or whatever it is. If you feel bad, you're not going to do as good. And anybody that feels bad or has felt bad out there one time in their life, just think about when you're real sick and you're just like, hey, I don't want to get out of bed and I really don't feel like doing this. I'm lazy. Like, it is what it is. So, I'd say like if it improves a good aspect of your quality of life, you'll definitely want to get on the program. It's the people that say, oh, it's too expensive for me. And they have no idea what it's going to feel like to be on that program. So, if you have low testosterone, that is one of the biggest negative things that could happen to a male. And at that point, if you live with low testosterone, I feel sorry for you. And I hope you get it checked and I hope you're healthy enough to get on testosterone replacement therapy because it will be a game changer for you, just like it was a game changer for me and hundreds of thousands of other guys out there.
Well, it's like the guy I was just talking about today that was here. And I want to jump off the subject for a sec because you made this. It took me back to something I saw last week, and it was a discussion on stage. You had these 8 influencers, and they started arguing with each other, the influencers, and they're at this big event, how to make $1 million, $1 billion, whatever, one of these kind of things, and the whole crowd was just starting to laugh because a couple of the guests or a couple of the speakers, were fighting with each other on what it truly means to be successful. And so the reason I wanted to say what truly means to be successful is one individual is talking about it's about his family and his time with his kids and stuff, and the other one was talking about being muscular and tough and rich as anything. And good looking. And so it was interesting watching this because I saw something that really got me to think. I'm like, well, what is success? And it was just simply put, the success is the guy that's living his life very happily.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that is these two guys are arguing about what success. Success is the individual's opinion of what success is. I'm assuming that the Dalai Lama or the Buddha and stuff like that, very peaceful and with very little things, was very happy. Relative to, I have billionaire friends that are very stressed out
Right.
and just looks like it's a tough life, and they have more money than I could ever fathom.
Right.
So what is success? And I go back to health. I think, in my opinion, is the number one to success. Living a pain-free, healthy lifestyle, and then doing with whatever you want with that physique and body.
Right.
But I think it starts with the mindset of going, whatever it takes for me to be healthy. And so I don't think financial should come into play ever. And then John's sitting here talking about how his prices are so reasonable. I don't even, it doesn't matter to me. You should take care of your health, and that's what true health. If you're healthy, you're not injured, you're living life, then you can enjoy it to the fullest capability. I'm sorry about going off on there, Johnny, but
No, I love it. You're right. You're absolutely right.
At that point. And so I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, I can't afford this, that, the other thing. It's like, well, then you're the person that's going to live in that ugly hamster wheel where Johnny's going to New York and enjoying the family and enjoying the time and healthy and free. And he's living through these things like the shoulder we talked about.
Yeah.
It's a full circle back to the shoulder, but he's trying to take care of that shoulder, and he's doing things that are new age.
Yep.
Haven't been proven, I guess you could say, in a sense.
Yeah.
But I love that aspect, and I think that's why I think the world of you, Johnny, because I keep trying to get to that level of going through the storm but living life at the same time.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, I know not everybody's built for it, I guess. Just like not everybody's built to be an entrepreneur. It just is what it is. Like some people just don't function well underneath that, and that's fine. But for me, like I said, I think health is the number one aspect of what you should prioritize. Obviously your family and everything is right there, but like I said, without your health, you're not around. So there is no family, there is no job, there is no nothing. So that's why I prioritize that as number one. If I can't take care of myself and I'm not healthy, I can't take care of nobody else. Or if I am half-ass, I'm taking care of somebody else half-ass, or maybe a quarter of that. So, and I've got a lot of people depending on me. So at this point, like, it's very important for me to be going all the time. And that's what it is. There's no time to stop. Obviously, listen, like I said, I agree with you 100% on the aspect of whatever makes you happy, that determines how rich you are, right? If it's a small house, who cares? But you have your family, you're making these memories, it's a happy time. Like, hey, listen, that's wealth, man, for sure, 100%. Because like you said, you can have all the money in the world, that doesn't make you happy, right? Money makes it easy. It makes it easier. It's not easy, but it makes it easier. But with more money comes more problems, like Biggie said. And it's so true. When I started the business, half the problems, not even a quarter of the problems, there ain't no speck on there. Obviously, as you get bigger and all that, there's more problems that can arise, whether it's employees not showing up to work or this product getting taken away like peptides or whatever it is. And you got to roll through it. You can't dwell on it, right? You can't get emotional on that. That's not something to get emotional about. There's times to get emotional and there's times not to get emotional. Baby born, somebody dies, you find out the cancer. That's an emotional time, right? Handling business, you have different things that are coming at you. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, listen, we're doing this. You can't do this. You got to come up with a resolution. You can't just flip out, break down. You got to be non-emotional and be able to take in what's going on and to resolve that problem as best you possibly can and not procrastinate on it.
I gotta say this real quick because I think this is great. Mario says creating art makes him happy. I love that. I love the artist, and I think that when something is like bodybuilding and weightlifting is an art to me. There's a beautiful creation of the brushes and stuff like that is the food, the weights is the sculpture, and so it's an artistic approach, and it doesn't matter if you make money off of it or not. It's the struggle of doing it, which is such a cool thing. So I can appreciate the artist.
Yeah.
And I think back to the guys hundreds of years ago, the Michelangelos and stuff, who didn't have money but created that art that will live forever. So it's again, it's the individual. Yeah. Can he be happy within the life that they're living and stuff? regardless of the ups and downs, how crazy the world is right now. Because I think the world is absolutely lost
Insane.
lost
Yes.
its marbles. Again, no, but everybody knows how I feel about who's running. But can we stay balanced enough in our lives and not let that distract us so much? Keep the focus on, like Johnny does, family, health, and enjoying this kind of stuff. So I would like everybody over the next couple of weeks to really focus on just making sure your body's good, you're healthy, your blood work is done, and you're caught up to everything, because we're going to be launching a new workout plan. And again, if you're doing Titan Medical and your blood work is good and you're eating well, and anything I can help you guys with when it comes to training and nutrition, I'm here. Johnny's here for everything when it comes to the aspect of taking care of your blood work, your health, or recommendations. Think about that too. Let's jump off of just your blood work, but your recommendations on what you should do after you get your blood work and something is off. And Johnny said it earlier. You said if there's an issue, you can call. And I'm assuming you got issues all the time. Somebody gets their blood and then they start something. And I'll give you an example, because there's a misconception sometimes, or people don't watch themselves close enough. I trained with a client yesterday, and he also is a Titan Medical client. Mm-hmm. And his testosterone was at 200, and his free was, again, down. Now, he is in his late 40s. So that's to be expected maybe for a lot of people. He's been on some stuff from Titan Medical for the last, I think, 8 weeks, and his T level is now at 600. Great for a guy that's almost 50. I think that's pretty darn good. And his free testosterone is really good. He said there was no change to his energy, and that confused me. And I tried to have a real deep talk with him and saying, so you were the same at 200 that you are at 600. Mm-hmm. You're nothing changed. Your sleep wasn't better. Your mood's not better. Your body's not functioning better. And he kept coming back and saying, no, not really. And that confused me. Yeah. You were both, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would like, listen, I want you to tell me who it is after this, because I'll be honest with you guys. 600 is okay, right? But if you're on TRT with us, it better be like 800 or 900. As long as you're okay with the doses of the prescribing provider says, right? There's some people that say, listen, I don't want to start at that dose, like 200 milligrams or whatever it is.
Right.
And they go lower. So I want to figure out like who this guy is, because I'm going to dial him and make sure he gets like 800 or 900. And then if he says he don't have better energy, then we got to look somewhere else. We got to look at vitamin D levels. We got to look at cortisol levels. I want to look and see what's going on, because
the only thing I came up with is I know guys that are naturally at 900.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, that's them just normal. So them saying, hey, I'm at 900, you would assume his energy would be crazy, but it's just how he is naturally. And a lot of people have talked about this already. A guy that's always at 400 and they feel healthy, then that's good.
Right.
So for them to, if they're at 400 and they're not feeling good, then they maybe need to go to 900.
Mm-hmm.
Or the individual that's at this 1,000 needs to go to that 15, I guess it was.
Right.
But I just would wish people would, when they do this stuff, they would stay in touch with their provider and go, hey, I don't see a change, because maybe this is one of those guys that needs to be at 800, 900.
Right. Absolutely.
But instead, he's going off numbers.
Yeah. See, and you know, the other flip side to that is that if every 28 days, our people check with the person, the patient, right? And they ask them, first question, how are you feeling? Is everything going good? Is there any negative side effects? Can we do anything better? Do you have any other goals you want to achieve? Those are the 5 questions that are asked. So I need all patients to be very truthful with the people calling or texting them and say, no, it's not good. Like, all right, cool. Then we need to start breaking this down. Like, what's going on? Like, that's what we're here for. I mean, even if it's not the 28 days and it's 15 days in and there's something that's off, we want to know about it right away. Like, you don't have to wait till we contact you. We're open. So at that point, like, call, text us. We're going to give a response back and see what's going on. I mean, literally, you can take advantage of that great support that you get. At that point, to make sure you're optimal. I mean, listen, I want everybody that's coming through Titan Medical Center to get optimal results. And if they're not getting optimal results, what's going on and how can we change this? If we can't for some other reason, let's refund them all their money. So at least, hey, listen, they don't feel like they've lost out on anything either. So, I went to far aspects for people to make them feel, like, hey, listen, they can contact us very easily. They get an answer very easily. If they need changes very easily, because like you said, some people feel different in different doses. And if you don't feel good at that point, and we need to rectify, we need to tweak some different things so we can get to the bottom and get you feeling good.
Don't go off the numbers. Don't go off the numbers. Right. Again, it's you, the individual. You're different than everybody else. This guy, and again, it was me talking to him, and it frustrated me a little bit because I was trying to get him to answer the questions I was asking.
Right.
And it was flatline the whole time. And I'm like, all right, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do for you until you look at yourself.
Right.
You're walking around with 200. What was the point of you wanting to get on if you're so great?
And was he on the regimen?
And he's on his regimen now.
Was it?
But the point, like I was sorry, if you were at 200, why did you start? So there was a number that you go, okay, I did my blood work, my number's low. So there's issues. There's going to be issues later on in life, especially if you're 50 and that low. So you want to make sure you take care of that just to stay healthy. Really analyze it and go, well, is it 600 and I'm fine? Or am I still tired and sluggish at 600 and I'm that individual that needs to be at 900? Again, that's not for me to say. I have no pony in this fight here. This is, again, you talking to your medical provider and saying, yeah, I don't feel much of a change. Energy's the same, stuff like that. Then let's make sure that we get you where we think that you should be and at least try to be there.
Right.
That's the great thing about numbers.
Yeah. And it's not all just numbers. Yeah, that's a great point. Like even us, like our providers just don't look at the numbers. Like if we did that, like it would be like a robot. We look at numbers and we correlate how your symptoms are and how your health history is. It depends on what your regimen's going to be. This is an all-inclusive picture that we look at and make sure that we look at every aspect to make sure that we're not missing out on anything. You have to do something like that. And we just went off the numbers. I mean, it'd be really, really simple, but that wouldn't be the best for everybody out there. Definitely not, for sure. Because there are people that don't have symptoms at 530, and there's people that do have symptoms at 530. And you want to correct those symptoms if they're having problems. Like it's not good for a mid-30-year-old to have erectile dysfunction, be lethargic, and have no motivation. As a male, like these are the key aspects for us. And during that time, you're building to the best of your life pretty much. I mean, your 30s, I think, are the best time in your lives, right? I mean, 40s have been pretty good so far for me. You've lived through them, so you look great, 40 and 50, But, I think 30s and 40s are, probably that sweet spot. 40s middle age. So 30s is going to be that, hey, I'm not young 20s, and I'm starting to get into that mature 40-year-old aspect. So, at that point, you should be living your life to the max. You should be maxing out your career or making those steps in your career, whatever it is, to be your best. And then you should be, if you haven't found a wife or anything like that, you'll probably be a good time, to start stepping in that line so you don't have, so you have a family and stuff like that. So I don't know. I would want to perform. In my 30s, I was definitely performing. I mean, I was on testosterone replacement in my 30s because, at that point I found out I was low, and it was a game changer. The best way that I could describe to somebody, two different ways. One, it was like opening the blinds and seeing the light for the first time. You've been in this dark room, and man, you look like, man, boom. Or the car situations. I always go back to cars. You're driving a 1995 Cadillac, and that thing is a cream puff. You took care of it. You've only put 1,000 miles on it, and now you've just jumped into a 2024 Cadillac. You're like, whoa, heat seaters, cooling, augmented reality. I can see that. I mean, just wow. Like that's kind of the aspects of what I would say. And those are the big changes. If you don't need testosterone, you're not going to see the big changes. You're just not. If you're at 800 already and you're taking mega doses, yeah, you might throw on some more muscle and stuff like that, but it's not going to change the way that you feel for sure.
Yeah, and Johnny and me have talked about this too. If you're at that age that you don't need it, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it. It's just for anybody out there that's wondering, should you go down that venture? And your body is working right, and you're at that age that everything's working perfectly. Do not do it. Yeah. There's no point to do that. There's things that Titan Medical does have that will help you, like the aminos, the Hercules potion, glutathione, possibly if you're one of these people that continues to get sick and stuff, and so many other things. But yeah, don't play around with it. And then for all of you that are just curious about your health, again, it's not an old person thing. It's especially nowadays. Get your blood work done, find out what your baseline is, and then hold on to that paperwork.
Yeah, do things the right way, and especially you're a big example for your kids too as well. This is a story right before I left town. Peter had his because he's back and he's able to hit now. And he's going to be on his throwing program. So I'm like, yes, he's excited, super excited. So we're at this lesson, and of course these guys are ex-MLBs that are teaching him and stuff like that, and they've got a ton of other clients. And the coach pulls me aside, tells Peter to go, start warming up. And he tells me, hey, listen, I got this dad over there. And his first son plays with Toronto. He's a right-handed pitcher. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, his brother's 15 years old. And I guess the scouts want to sign him. But the scouts said that he needs a bigger body. And they said they'd sign him to maybe a $1 million contract, blah, blah, blah. So, basically his dad's asking the other guy, listen, why juice up his kid to get him to grow? I'm like, absolutely not. Like, that's not what you want to do for your kid. Like even Peter's like, yeah, do it. Because if you can see what works on him, then you can use it on me. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, I know it works. I know how to juice somebody up. That's fine. There's no way I'm going to do that to some kid and ruin this whole life going forward. Because he's always going to have to be on it, Peter. These kids, they see these different aspects. And even my kid, he's talking about trend. And I'm like, where the hell are you even hear this? It's all over the internet. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows about steroids and all this. And, it's crazy because, these kids are looking for instant gratification shortcuts because they want to get bigger, but they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to eat the food. I mean, listen, this is something you're going to have to do. Even if you want to get bigger and you're going to use performance enhancing drugs, you're going to have to eat and you're going to have to train. You have to do the right things. If not, it's going to be sloppy weight and you're going to look like crap. And at that point, you're going to ruin what you have going on, natural testosterone levels, your fertility issues, and all the things going forward. So it's just not worth it to use unless you need it. There's other things that you can utilize, especially as kids, maybe creatine, maybe some different aspects of vitamins and such. But at that point, it's a horrible thing that, you got parents out there that are juicing up their kids. And of course they look at my son, and my son's huge. And of course I get the question all the time, what are you giving Peter? Is Peter on Titan? I'm like, absolutely not. Like,
you guys haven't seen his son. His son's bigger than me. So, and he just turned 15. So,
so it's just crazy. Like, of course, I know what to do. I know what would work, right? But there's no way that I would put my kid in jeopardy for the issues that he could have moving forward with his health. I'd rather him not go to the MLB, be healthy and be good instead of juicing him up.
I think you and I agree on this aspect. If you need it, 100% do it. If you don't need it, 100% don't do it. There's no middle ground on this. It's not a black and white thing for me. It's just, there's no gray area. This is
right.
It's removed. If your body needs it, yes. If your body doesn't need it, absolutely not. It's not something to play around with too. And it just seems like it is to the people that read it and the ones that haven't read enough or understand the consequences, they really do think it's a game.
Yeah, I know.
They really do. It's like Ghost in Venice. It's just like, hey, how old are you? 21. Get jacked. Jump on it. It's like, wow, that's it. That's all you need to do that. And it's like we've talked about this numerous times that that's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to help. We're helping people that just want to optimize it and get them back to healthy.
Yeah. That's definitely what it is, man. And like I said, do it for yourself, do the right thing, do it for your kids, do the right thing. I mean, it'll be a lot better all the way around, I think, for you and for your kid if you want to be healthy, right? I mean, teach them the right way. That's the biggest thing that people don't teach their kids. Nutrition, because they probably don't know it themselves. Half of them know training, I guess. I'll give them that. Do the activity, make them go outside, train with them, along with them. And that's another aspect that I really look forward to, and sharing that time in the gym with Peter and stuff like that. So it's a big one for me, for sure, 100%. And the peptides have helped me be able to train. People ask how I train with my shoulder the way it is.
Yeah.
And, right now I have BPC 157 and TB 500. These peptides, listen, I was just on the phone with a pharmacy today. And, they've got these different people. They're not government agencies. These are lobbyists that are going after these pharmacies, and they're trying to slap these board of pharmacies on these people, and they're specifically targeting these pharmacies, which is really crazy. So some of these pharmacies are going to quit some of these different peptides in the future, next month or 2 months or so. But some of them are going to get replaced. So I did hear a couple of the different things that are going to be coming out. So peptide wise, BPC, the way it is, there's going to be a different version where they're changing a molecule, same thing, same product, but just one molecule change. So thank God for that. TB500, they have not found a
That's some great news today. How did you not start this whole conversation with that? Come on.
Sorry. But and that's another one. So the other big one out there that's coming out is a GHRH peptide that'll be pretty good, that will replace CJC and IPA, would be Semarelin and Hexarelin. So Semarelin is an old GHRH from before. It's FDA approved, so it's never going away. And then Hexarelin was like a GHRP 2 or 6, so it's going to combine really good with those. Testosterone is going to always be around, so that's a good one. MK will be gone here very shortly. GHK copper gone. So the trick is find some of these different things, and we're making some different variations. So hopefully we'll be able to replace some of these different things and hopefully come out with new ones, because there's a lot more peptides out there. We just got to start replacing some of the different ones that we have that we know that work very well.
So it's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah, definitely crazy.
I still feel that it's just them trying to make money off of something, trying to govern it too much.
For sure. They don't want people having peptides. Peptides work. Peptides are not dangerous. I've been injecting peptides for over 10 years myself, and peptides have done nothing but benefit my quality of life from my shoulder, which I inject every day still. That's one thing I think that gets me by, and it makes me able to train every day, or at least 3 to 4 times a week. And, I said, there's other ones out there like MOTS-c and stuff like that have worked very well for patients that they're going to possibly be gone too as well. But MOTS-c has a replacement coming too.
Oh, it does. Okay, so that's going to be good. Great.
Yeah, a couple of replacements. So I'll be updating you guys as I get the update. But that's kind of the update that I got today. So it's kind of crazy.
So there's a question here. We'll kind of finish on this one. A 53-year-old, and he's probably late to this conversation because we kind of talked about how numbers are irrelevant. It's all dependent on the person. This guy is 53 years old. He would like to know what a good T level would be for 53.
Sure. So no matter what your age is, 18 to, let's say, 65 years old, if you're getting a blood test at LabCorp, the natural range is between 264 and 916. So it really doesn't matter, what do you think a good level is, right? Because when we talked about it earlier, some people feel good at one level and some people feel good at another. But, I mean, if you were to say, listen, what's a roundabout number that's good for a 53-year-old that I would see through blood test? I guess maybe 500-600 is what I've seen. Now, there are other people like Clark that might be 900, but that's super unheard of, guys.
So
I don't
rare.
see 6 years old or 6 years old at 900. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. All right. Usually it's between 200, 300, and 400 is what I see in a majority of blood tests. And then I'll see the 500s and then maybe 600s on some people, unless they're really, really young. And then I might see a 700 or 800. but I don't see those very commonly. Majority of people from 25 to 60, let's say, are going to be between 2 and 400. And they usually are symptomatic. And that's why they usually call us, because they start checking the boxes. Man, I don't have energy. I'm lethargic, no motivation, ED. And at that point, body's not changing at all. So if you work out and you're doing the right things, let's say for a whole month, you should see some sort of change. At 2 months, if you're really not seeing change, there's something else that's underlining that's heating back or adhering, or not, you're not getting your results. So at that point, like, that's when you should be like, all right, well, maybe I need to get this checked out. Because I know people that are doing the right thing at 200 and they don't see anything change. They don't see the scale change, the body doesn't change, clothing doesn't change, and they're just frustrated all to hell. And they're like, why am I even doing this? I'm busting my ass and I'm sacrificing my good food for what? I'm not getting any result. And that's when you got to look at some of the different things, and then you see that maybe these different things are off. And then once those things are improved, it's like a race car. Once you dial it in, you're gonna run the best lap that you have ever in your life. So at that point, the fastest, the best. So that's really what it is: testing, tuning, and getting it right where you need to be.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, man. So for you guys out there, I know for a fact that this week's peptide of the week is L-carnitine injectable.
Yeah.
And I know that I just got my box yesterday, and I'm looking through there for the L-carnitine because it is that time again. We just got word that Magazine Dreams will be coming out later this year.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta be ready for that red carpet action.
Yes. Yes.
So
that's awesome.
L-carnitine is something again that's not going to go away. That's there along
Yeah.
with the Hercules potion.
Yeah.
And again, Jeffrey's the one that said do the double dose of Hercules.
Yes.
What else do we got going on over there this week? We got the
That's it this week. This week we have the L-carnitine discount, and that's it. So that amino acid is great for a lot of different things. If you guys don't know what L-carnitine does, L-carnitine is great for one, for energy production, right? Two, it will help with the nervous system, and three, if you're on TRT or HRT, it helps with androgen receptors. So at that point, like, it will help complement your TRT, HRT, and it'll help you out in the gym too as well in many different aspects. Amino acids are so vital to the system with non-essential and essential, and I covered this in my live. Non-essential, you're good, but essential, you have to get these from some sort of place, whether it's food or some sort of supplementation. And I will run the gambit of amino acid testing on anybody that wants to do it, but I haven't seen anybody come back super high in their amino acids, anybody that I blood tested. Only on maybe one or two different aspects, not all of them.
Right.
So I haven't seen anybody truly optimized on on all of them. On some of them, yes, for sure. Mike has done. I've done mine.
You got one more minute to talk because I want to go over this. That was something that was really shocking to me on my latest blood work.
Yeah.
Guys, I try to optimize myself fully, and I'll take my glutamines and I'm on my Hercules potion. I'm on all this, and I'm still in a good range when it comes to my amino acids. And I'm sitting here going, man, I thought I was taking tenfold on what my body could utilize.
Yeah.
Wow, blew me away that it comes back to I'm just doing okay.
Yeah.
And it's like I try to do the very, very best I can. I don't want to do just okay. And so it's surprising to me. So if you guys, it's a very interesting blood work. It might be a little bit more expensive, 20, 30. I don't know what the price is, but get the full amino acid lineup blood test as well to find out what you're deficient in on those aspects. I don't know why I didn't talk about this earlier, but that's a great part of the blood test that they can do at Titan Medical. So don't ask, how would they request, how would they go about going, hey, I don't want just the basic blood work. I would like to get this. Mike did his amino acid breakdown.
Yeah. And that's all you have to ask for. Say, I want to get the amino acid panel thrown on there, or I want to get a cortisol panel thrown on there. Because a lot of people, they might not even know what this stuff is. So yeah, I mean, if there's a certain blood test that maybe you want, if we offer it, just ask and we can add that blood test on there for you. So at that point, when you go into the lab, you're getting drawn one time and you're getting all these different tests back, and you can utilize this information to look, hey, listen, the supplements I'm taking right now, let me see how good they are from this brand, right? And we run those supplements, and when we see on blood, hey, listen, this didn't come back too good, or man, this really worked very well. I did it with an oral vitamin D, right? Because I'm totally against oral supplementation. Just sorry, guys. Like, I know injectable works better, so I'd rather go that route. But at that point, like, I'm like, listen, if I can hold back and not take a vitamin D injection, and I can really get an oral supplementation that works through blood work, then at that point I'll do that. And one of our other athletes told me about this vitamin D supplement. She said, man, it works really well. I said, well, we'll see. I blood tested. I was below the normal range on my bare bones panel on my baseline, and I took it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. I took it for 2 or 3 weeks. I was above where I needed to be, like 20 points higher. I was like, okay. I was like, this works. I was like, then I can recommend this to somebody else. So it's good because you really will know if things are working or not working through blood. Effect. Oh man, this is.
I think. Oh, we didn't lose Johnny, did we?
You know, especially this wasn't offered before, and then you'd have to just guess what supplements were the best, right?
Yeah.
And this way you can actually look and say, listen, this is really working really good, and I'll stick with it. And then I'll find the other ones to mix in these other numbers. But if you're optimal amino acids, those are building blocks of protein, right? So, you know, essentially to build more muscle, you're going to need amino acids, and those sequences generate so many other different things, like some of these peptides that we're talking about. So really, really cool stuff to build.
Around. I'm glad this is available to us now, especially for
yeah.
how I live my life and how I'm trying to manage the decline the very best I possibly can. And so I'm excited about that and being able to do that. And so I'm going to stay with the amino breakdown too, because I'm so curious on how much EAAs, how much glutamine, how much citrus, all these things I'm so curious about. But also, I'm excited for Titan in 15 years on making sure that he's taking the right vitamins, the right amino acids at that young age to make sure he's continuously growing the way he's growing. And I know that you're excited about Peter. If we got to keep the leash on him somewhat, don't let him go too crazy. But it's man, you guys are lucky out there to have something like this available to you right now. So jump on over to Titan Medical today. I got to let Johnny go. He's already on the next meeting. You can see him right now, already on the phone. Buddy, welcome back.
Glad to be back, and thank you for having me today. I appreciate working with me today. Our normal day is Tuesday, but you know, with traveling every day, especially traveling yesterday, I appreciate it very much. So glad to be back, dude. Glad to be back. I'm glad to talk with you for sure.
Thanks, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.